Crying does not indicate that you are weak. Since birth, it has always been a sign that you are alive. I try to avoid looking forward or backward, and try to keep looking upward. Better to be without logic than without feeling. Life appears to me too short to be spent in nursing animosity, or registering wrongs. Life is so constructed, that the event does not, cannot, will not, match the expectation. There is no happiness like that of being loved by your fellow creatures, and feeling that your presence is an addition to their comfort. A great deal, you are good to those who are good to you. It is all I ever desire to be. If people were always kind and obedient to those who are cruel and unjust, the wicked people would have it all their own way. They would never feel afraid, and so they would never alter but would grow worse and worse. When we are struck at without a reason, we should strike back again very hard. I am sure we should, so hard as to teach the person who struck us never to do it again. I have not broken your heart, you have broken it, and in breaking it, you have broken mine. If we would build on a sure foundation in friendship, we must love friends for their sake rather than for our own. Take my love. One day share my life. Be my dearest, first on earth. Human beings must have action, and they will make it if they cannot find it. But life is a battle. May we all be enabled to fight it well. Do you think, because I am poor, obscure, plain and little, I am soulless and heartless? You think wrong. I have as much soul as you, and full as much heart. And if God had gifted me with some beauty and much wealth, I should have made it as hard for you to leave me, as it is now for me to leave you. Oh, that gentleness! How far more potent is it than force? That to begin with, let respect be the foundation, affection the first floor, love the superstructure. Friendship, however, is a plant which cannot be forced. True friendship is no gourd spring up in a night and withering in a day. The trouble is not that I am single and likely to stay single, but that I am lonely and likely to stay lonely. Remorse is the poison of life. I am not an angel, I asserted, and I will not be one till I die. I will be myself. A ruffled mind makes a restless pillow. Talented people almost always know full well the excellence that is in them. Conventionality is not morality. Self-righteousness is not religion. To attack the first is not to assail the last. You know full well as I do the value of sisters' affections. There is nothing like it in this world. Youth has its romance, and maturity its wisdom, as morning and spring have their freshness, noon and summer their power, night and winter their repose. Each attribute is good in its own season. The human heart has hidden treasures, in secret kept, in silence sealed, the thoughts, the hopes, the dreams, the pleasures, whose charms were broken if revealed. I can be on guard against my enemies, but God deliver me from my friends. All my heart is yours, sir, it belongs to you, and with you, it would remain, were fate to exile the rest of me from your presence forever. Besides this earth, and besides the race of men, there is an invisible world and a kingdom of spirits. That world is round us, for it is everywhere. No mockery in this world ever sounds to me so hollow as that of being told to cultivate happiness. What does such advice mean? Happiness is not a potato, to be planted in mold, and tilled with manure. When we are struck at without a reason, we should strike back again very hard. I am sure we should, so hard as to teach the person who struck us never to do it again. Charlotte Bronte, the 21st of April 1816 to the 31st of March 1855. Charlotte Bronte was born on the 21st of April 1816 in Market Street, Thornton, west of Bradford in the West Riding of Yorkshire, the third of the 6 children of Maria Branwell and Patrick Bronte, formerly surnamed Bronte, an Irish Anglican clergyman. In 1820 her family moved a few miles to the village of Haworth, on the edge of the moors, where her father had been appointed perpetual curate of St. Michael and All Angels Church. Maria died of cancer on the 15th of September 1821, leaving 5 daughters, Maria, Elizabeth, Charlotte, Emily and Anne, and a son, Branwell, to be taken care of by her sister, Elizabeth Branwell. Charlotte Bronte was an English novelist and poet, the eldest of the 3 Bronte sisters who survived into adulthood and whose novels became classics of English literature. She enlisted in school at Roe Head, Mirfield, in January 1831, aged 14 years. She left the year after to teach her sisters, Emily and Anne, at home, returning in 1835 as a governess. In 1839, she undertook the role of governess for the Sidgwick family, but left after a few months to return to Haworth, where the sisters opened a school but failed to attract pupils. Instead, they turned to writing, and they each first published in 1846 under the pseudonyms of Currer, Ellis, and Acton Bell. Although her first novel, The Professor, was rejected by publishers, her second novel, Jane Eyre, was published in 1847. The sisters admitted to their Bell pseudonyms in 1848, and by the following year were celebrated in London literary circles. Charlotte Bronte was the last to die of all her siblings. She became pregnant shortly after her marriage in June 1854 but died on the 31st of March 1855, almost certainly from hyperemesis gravidarum, a complication of pregnancy which causes excessive nausea and vomiting. The fragment of a new novel she had been writing in her last years has been twice completed by recent authors, the more famous version being Emma Brown, a novel from the unfinished manuscript by Charlotte Bronte by Claire Boylan in 2003. Most of her writings about the imaginary country Angria have also been published since her death. In 2018, The New York Times published a belated obituary for her.